Hey guys, welcome back. So, this is the episode 4 of Frontend Engineering, and in the previous episodes, we were able to dive deep into the world of frontend. We did learn about DOM and CSOM. We did learn about the render tree, right, which is like an essential thing. And then, in the previous episode, which was episode 3, we looked into a UX side, right? Another world of frontend where it contributes a lot towards how the user experiences your application, right? And that's actually important. See, you might be really good at React, you might be really good at Next.js, you know, like how to handle states, you know how to handle state management. Let's say you know how to do all these amazing stuff on the front end and all these weird CSS stuff, you know, people building houses in CSS, people building, you know, so many things in CSS. Let's say you know how to do all those stuff. But if you're not aware of UX, right, it doesn't matter, because no matter how experienced you are, and no matter how many how the way you build your application, if it doesn't follow a couple of UX principles, or if it doesn't follow a couple of familiar standard UX patterns, then the users will have hard time using your application. Eventually they'll drop out. Okay, so today we'll learn about something called the design systems. Okay, you might not know what exactly design system is, but if you're a developer, I'm damn sure you have experienced this one. Okay, so let's get started today. So this episode 4 would be the design systems. Okay, so what exactly is design systems? Again, this is not system design. I know the name is kind of similar, but system design is actually like, you know, your servers and everything. You'll have your cache, you'll have your servers, you'll do all those load balancer and all those architecture designs, right? That's system design. Okay, design system is for front end. Okay, so what exactly is design system? Design system is nothing but a set of components and rules. Okay, so you'll have a couple of components, and then you'll have some rules to it on what is this component do and when you should use it. Okay, and then some guidelines as well. So a popular definition is it's a set of components, rules, style guides, and documentation used to build a coherent and then on-brand interface of a product. So what does this mean? So for example, you see this image here, right? What do you see here? You see buttons, right? And then you see button state as well. So button here is a component. Okay, and then there is a rule here on when a button is clicked, show this in this color or show this in this particular state, or when the button is released from the click, display it in this particular state, and when the cursor moves away from the button, show something like this. So we call this as hover, focus, and active, right, in HTML. When you hover on that button, you can see it's in hover state. When you click on it, it's focus. When you remove it, it's active. Okay, so that's what these states or guidelines tell you, like how the button should look like. And this is what design system is. So design system will give you how the UI appearance, or the way that the UI component or the piece of UI should appear for every single condition and state. That's what the design system is. And then you need design system in order to completely build your application which follows uniform pattern. For example, if you take Google, this is a meme though, but forget about the meme. So if you take Gmail or Drive, Maps, any Google applications, right, you can see the buttons follow the same pattern, right? The colors might be different, but when you click on it, you get a ripple effect, right? The button shadows might get updated, right? You can see the card, right? The card, it's similar in all the applications. The card, the background shadow, the color of the card, the font, and Google uses Open Sans. I think it's Product Sans, I guess. Product Sans or Open Sans font for every single application. That's what design system is. So no matter now or in the future, whatever Google builds, whatever the application Google build, will follow the same pattern. And if you ask me, if Google is building this, a lot of applications with the same pattern, and what if someone wants to update a design? Then do we have to go back and update in every single application? No, because Google designs the design system. Not only Google, I'm just taking an example as Google, but this is like a general. Okay, when these design systems are designed, okay, they are coded as well. Okay, either the designers will do it or the developers will do it, and they'll maintain it. And this will be maintained as a package. So in case of JavaScript, it's npm package. Okay, we maintain it in npm package, and all the Google applications that are built will be using that package. Okay, let's assume for now Google is using React or any applications. Okay, they might be using some more things for the front end, but usually it's JavaScript ecosystem, right? So it will be in npm. So they will use that, and whenever, let's say, they want to update a button style, okay, they found some fault in the button UX and they want to update it. So what they would do is they would update the package, and then all the applications that are using that particular package will be auto updated, or they can manually go and update it. Whichever project is required, they can manually update it. That's how it is properly organized and maintained. Okay, that's why you need design systems. So clear about the design systems, so that it will give you like this branding. It will give you this uniform pattern of following a standard designs. So you don't have to worry about, okay, how can I style this button for my application? You don't have to worry about that. Everything will be predefined so that you can focus on what is important. That's what UX design system is. Okay. Now, if I scroll down, there are a couple more things that we have to learn about this. The first thing is, why do we need it? Okay. Apart from all the reasons I gave you, the first thing is we have streamlined design to production workflow. So when you have a design system in your hand, right, you have the playbook over there. Okay. You have all your questions answered. What color to choose, what type of style to choose, what type of border radius to choose, what type of shadow to choose, what type of font to choose, everything is answered. The only thing that's in front of you is your logic. Now, since you have the playbook, you can start prototyping. You can just drag and drop components. Okay, now I'm talking in terms of Figma, okay, in terms of designs. Okay, you can just drag and drop your components, okay, create a good UI and start prototyping it. On, okay, if the user clicks on this button, what should happen? Show this screen. The user clicks on this button, show that screen. You can focus on the logic, on how your application should work, rather than what your application should show. Okay, the button styles, the card styles, the pop-up styles, and all those stuff. You can ignore it because you already have the playbook defined. That's what streamlined design to production workflow is. Okay, it's properly streamlined, and next you have less redundancy. Since you have everything predefined, you can just reuse it. Okay, you don't have to define every new component in every single page. That's redundant. Okay, and since you're reusing it as a component, let's say in the design, you can just make, let's say, modify the styles a bit. You can make it to the top level, and everything will be properly applied automatically because everything will be a reference. Okay, similar to your coding as well. For example, if you take Figma, you can just make it as a Figma component inside Figma itself, and if you update the component, everywhere that particular element is used, it will be updated as well because it is referenced. And it is a shared language from code to customer. And what is that? What does this mean? Shared language from code to customer. So there is this research these UX designers do. Okay, you won't believe me. They actually take a button and they'll actually research on that button. On what if I have like a sharp edge? What does that indicate? What if I have like a very rounded edge? What does that indicate? So they do an extensive research so that it conveys the message properly to the customer. I'm really sorry guys, I didn't turn off my notification. Sorry. Okay, that's what shared language to code to customer is. Okay, and so it's properly conveyable. So whenever you see that button, you can feel on what you have to do over there, right? Rather than coming up with, okay, this button seems like this. What do I have to click this button, or is this a button or something else? You don't have to think about that. When you feel, okay, this is a button, click on it. So that's how the psychology plays a role here. Okay, and then is a familiar, intuitive view, of course. So if you have a design system, and if you have like 10, let's say you are a big org, we have a design system, and you're building 10 applications. So of course, all will be familiar UI because you'll be using the same design systems, and your customers will know, okay, this is a part of this organization because I'm familiar with this UI. So it instantly creates that branding in their basically in their brain, because they have seen your branding, they have seen your application, and they know how your application feels like. Same thing happens to me whenever I visit IBM Cloud or Azure or AWS or Google Cloud. Okay, and if I visit, let's say, some other applications of Microsoft like Word, I think it's Word, right? MS Word. I can easily feel, okay, this is Microsoft because Azure and then Microsoft Word and everything will have similar components. Okay, and then if you visit Google Cloud, and if you visit some other applications of Google, you'll feel the same thing. Okay, that's what the familiar intuitive UI is. Okay, and now to get started with design systems, I won't be teaching you how to write design system here because that's out of scope. Okay, because you don't need it, to be honest. I'll tell you why. Okay, so there are a couple of very famous design system I've linked here. One is Airtable. Airtable is something that I really use. It's like a no-code platform. I use it for I use it to basically maintain some data. So you guys know Excel, right? Sheets. It is similar to that, but with better API management. Okay, they have a really good APIs which helps me to do it. For example, let's say I release a form in Duolearn, okay, and you guys are filling that form. So I am not going to store that in the DB. I'm going to store that in Airtable because that's a really good API where I can just easily implement it within 10 minutes. Okay, that's what I use Airtable. I really like them. And if you click on this, you can see the design system of Airtable. So here I click on open in Figma. So let me open this in Figma. And I should get a drop down. Okay, still loading. Oh, there we go. So first zoom in, you can see they have a first rule defined, that is spacing. So they can only go with 4, 8, 16, 32, 64 spacing. Okay, it's 8 pixel grid. Okay, that's what these guys are following. This spacing can be margin or padding or gaps as well. Okay, whatever it is, when you have spacing, it should follow 8 pixel grid. That's what their rule says. And they have font. So this is the font they are using: SF Pro Display, SF Pro Text, and then they have, make sure you have right version of SF with San Francisco Pro Display. Okay, then they have like a download it from here. They're using it from Apple. Okay, and then here's the rule that they have defined. So what is the paragraph font size and font weight should be? Okay, and then what are the different variant of that? This for text. When you say text, it's paragraph or small text or whichever text apart from heading. Okay, so they have like 4 single line text size and then 4 multi-line paragraph text size. So you might have either a single line paragraph, right? So there can be both. So they have rules for both. How does a paragraph look like and how does a single line text look like? And down they have headings. So for headings, they have 6 headings, of course, H1 to H6, and this is how it looks like. Okay, and every heading, I think it follows, I think the default size and up 21 pixel size. Okay, so this is extra small, this is small, default is 21 pixel. That's what I feel like because that's what it's mentioned here. And then you can see, right? And then here we have all caps heading size. So if you have all caps, you should not make it really big. It's hard to read for the user. For example, let's say this extra large. If you make it everything cap, it's hard to read. That's why they're making it like a very small here. They're keeping it small. And if I go ahead, they have some standard colors defined and variant of it. And then they have some icons. That's I think it's icon from another library. They have just used it here for the design system. And they have input fields. You can see different variants of input field on how it should look like, and they have indicators, the loading screen, the progress bar, tooltip label, and everything. So you get an idea, right? So everything is predefined here. Okay, and if I go to the another one, there should be GitHubs. This is GitHub, and this is Google's material. So this is Google's material UI. To be honest, I hate material UI. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you the reason as well. Not only me, I have so many developers. I know even senior developers who hate it. Okay, but you don't have to do it. Okay, just my opinion. Let's go to components here. All right. Oh yeah, here we go. This material UI has a lot of things because material UI is built from the scratch. So here they have badges. I think you might remember Google's style now. Google actually follows this one. You should remember this one at least. Google actually follows this one, right? This type of buttons. Okay, and then you can see they have cards, right? And dark mode and light mode cards both. Actually, this is wrong. You should not have like pitch black background. Not sure why they did that. And you get the point, right? See, labels, chips, date pickers, dialogues, all these components, right? And then if you want to see GitHubs, you can see this is the GitHubs. I'll leave the link in the description. You can just take a look at it because it'll just track the video. Okay, and then there's Chakra UI as well. Chakra UI, which is my personal favorite. I used to use Chakra UI a lot before, but then since nowadays I'm using App Router in Next.js, which is server components, I cannot use Chakra UI because Chakra UI is the fully fledged component library, which is built for client-side rendering. So if I use it in server components, it will throw an error because it requires the client support. So I cannot use that. Nowadays I'm using Tailwind for that. Okay, coming back, why are design system a pain? And why should you not create your own design system? Let me tell you why. Including me, why should I myself not create my own design system? First thing is it's a lot to maintain. Okay, you can see this, right? Yeah, look at this. Just look at this. Lots and lots of component, okay, and lots of varieties of styles, okay, and then everything has to have a very precise names, okay, names, and then auto layouts and everything, and it should be constantly verified and then constantly updated. Okay, it's a lot to maintain, literally a lot. Unless and until you are a really big org who can spend money and time on having dedicated people doing this, it's fine. But if you're a startup or individual who's working on a project, don't do it. Start using the existing one. Okay. And the next thing, design to code requires an extensive amount of time spent in documentation. Exactly. So you design it, great. What about development? And designing and development are equally harder. In designing, you have to take care of a lot of things. Click all the buttons here and there in Figma and then maintain it. And then when it comes to code, you have to properly structure everything. Think about reusing things. Okay, think about maintaining the state. Think about accessibilities. Think about what are the types you want to include. And think about customization. How do you customize it? How do you maintain the themes? Dark mode, light mode, and all this stuff. So it's hard. And then documenting both, don't ask me about it. It's really hard. I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm not saying it's really high maintenance. And then unless and until you have a time and resources to dedicate to it, do not do it. Next thing is defining appropriate standard for components. This is also a big issue because initially you might think, okay, I'm going to stick with 8 pixel grid. I'm going to stick with this much amount of pixel of size, this much amount of width and everything. Moving on, you might feel like, okay, this is not according to my standard. This is not, seems like the standard is not properly suitable for my expectations. Then you might intend to change it, right? So defining appropriate standards is really hard initially unless and until you have an experience working or designing a design system. Okay, and then UX research, A/B testing and iteration. I'll talk about A/B testing. So UX research is a must here because you have to research on what is your brand, what does your customers like, and then what does, how can you put that in the design. Okay, what colors to choose and how to indicate the click action, how to indicate micro interactions and everything. Okay, A/B testing is something like prototyping. So you make some designs, you test how users feel it. Okay, if the users feeling good, you keep it, or else you remove it. If you guys remember Instagram, right? So you might know Instagram sometimes put the search button on top, sometimes put the search button on down. They keep playing around with buttons and icons and everything. That's what A/B testing is. They'll test how the users will interact with it, whether they like it or not. Okay, they'll have some softwares installed. I mean, the tools installed that will show them how the interaction is going on. We personally use it as well. Okay, I've used it in a couple of my projects as well. So if the testing is positive, they'll keep it. If it's negative, they'll remove it. That's what A/B testing is. Okay, and iterations, feedbacks. You might know this, right? Okay, you get some feedback. Okay, users not liking this, you iterate it. So this constant feedback loop will keep you in that, will basically keep delaying the things. Okay, so unless and until you have a lot of money and lot of time, okay, and you're willing to at least have 2 designers and maybe 3 developers or 2 developers dedicated, they should not work on any other thing, on designing and researching on your UX and UI. Don't go with your own, building your own custom design system from the scratch. But what do I want to build? I'm curious. I want to build my own design system. What do I do? The recommended way is either stick with the existing UI library. For example, if you are so fan of Google's Material UI, there is a Material UI library for React, there is a Material UI library for Vue, Angular and everything. Use it, customize it, sit for 2 days, start writing customized file. Okay, there is a file that you can write to customize it. You can sit for 2 days, first design what type of colors and all your style need. Okay, note down all your thoughts, sit for 2 days and write everything. And do you need 2 days? Yes, because Material UI is really hard. I'm telling you, to customize it, it's really pain to customize it. Okay, that's why I hate it. Even if you customize it and let's say you want to do some more styles or something, it's really hard. You have to do a lot of changes to it. I'm not sure why Google does that. Google Material UI isn't easy to customize, it's really hard. Okay, and it takes a lot of time. So I think at least you need 2 to 3 days to customize it. Okay, or if you want to build your own design system itself, extend the existing one. For example, you can clone the Google's or GitHub's or Chakra UI's Figma design system. Okay, basically make a copy. They're open source, you can make a copy of it for free, it's not paid. Okay, and then start editing it. Okay, make a copy, start editing it according to your standards. So you will have everything in place from the start, built from the ground up. You can just modify the top level to feed to that will suit your requirement instead of building it from the ground up, which will take a lot of time. So this way you can sit for, let's say, for 1 week, you'll be done with the design system or maybe your own entire customized UI library instead of building everything from scratch. That's the recommended way. Okay, so that's it I have today for today, guys. So I'll link these things in the description. If you want, you can check it out. And of course, as usual, if you want to talk to us, if you want to network with us, you can join our WhatsApp group. If you're in the WhatsApp group where you cannot text, that's like an announcement group itself. But if you want to text with us, chat with me or the community, there's another group just linked in description. Just join there. We are only allowing a couple of people to reduce the spam there. That's it. Okay, and of course you can also join in Discord. You can ping us there as well. And yep, in the next episode I'll see you. Okay, till then, bye bye, take care.